I was talking to a young girl that I met at a conference last week in Birmingham, Alabama, and she said, sometimes I find it hard to talk to God because I'm not sure he's listening. It's like I'm praying in my bedroom or I'm praying in my car, but how do I know he's listening? Well, you know, I told her about the darkest night of my life. I was alone. I was crippled with clinical depression. I remember feeling desperate, hopeless. And worse than honestly all of that, I believed that God was disappointed in me, angry with me. And I had no great prayers left to pray. You know, I remember even opening my Bible, and it just, it felt at that moment just like dead weight in my hands. And the only two words I could get out were these: help me. Now, I have to say, in the quiet of that night, although I've never heard the audible voice of God, I heard him in my spirit say, I'm here and I'm listening. You know, in Psalm 23, we read this: even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Now, some translations, I don't know what your favorite translation is, but some translations I remember growing up with, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. And so I always thought it meant like if, you know, you were dying, or if you just lost someone, that even there you would know the Lord's presence. But when you actually go and unpack the real meaning in the Hebrew, what the writer of this psalm, what David is saying is, even if you're walking through the darkest place you've ever been. And many of you are kind enough to write me letters or let me in on some of the things you're walking through. And some of you are walking through some really dark times. Times when you think, honestly, I don't know how I'm going to make it through this. And when you move on in the psalm, when David says, he gives the reason for why he's not afraid. He said, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Well, I'm not a great student of biblical languages, but I do look up particular passages, and I read a lot of other people who will unpack, you know, who are really fluent in Hebrew or fluent in Greek, and I get so much from them. But what I discovered in this particular verse is the words are with, they're not there in the Hebrew. They were added so that the sentence made sense to us. The original, if you were reading in the original Hebrew language, it would actually say, I will fear no evil, for you, me. There's no are with there. What the psalmist is trying to say is, if you are in the darkest night of your life right now, if you're thinking, Lord, I don't know how I'll make it through this, what he wants you to know is, I will fear no evil, for you, me. God is right there. That's how close God is when you're in the worst moments of your life.